Lovelies, it's G here from Golden Thread Tarot. How are you doing today? I am here to bring you another channeled message. I hope that this message is finding you blessed and full of abundance. So, you guys might have heard my dogs just got really hype in the background out of nowhere. And just a few minutes ago, right before I started filming, my neighbors, as you guys know, were out there popping off, out there firing off, doing their thing. So, I feel like you're getting a lot of downloads right now on a different subject. I feel like getting into the message now that you are getting a lot of downloads right now. This is my new deck that I'm premiering on the channel, okay? It's my new intuitive images deck. Intuitive image message deck. Sorry. So this is my light codes, my light downloads card, okay? And my purity. So your channels, I'm hearing like clearing your channels. You're doing a lot, or you're being inspired to do things that would help clear your channel so that you could really see what the messages that Spirit's really trying to give you, right? Clearing out, okay, your lineage, clearing out your roots, clearing out the way forward for future generations is what I'm hearing. So you're doing a lot of cleansing of like in your DNA. So I'm hearing with that. A lot of like cleansing and purifying. Okay, let's see. Wow, a lot of cards came out. Let's see what's coming on here. Okay. Oh my gosh. I got the high gloss finish on these and they're so slippery. Okay, where you want to start first? Yeah, I figured. So you are definitely doing some ascending right now, as you guys can see on your path upwards right now. You are doing those ascending. You guys can kind of see. You're doing the ascending into the light. Yeah. Finding that moss, finding that way forward, finding that growth in unexpected ways and unexpected places. And I say that because when I took this photo, I was out and about and it was kind of early. Like the trees were turning green, but it was kind of early in the spring, and like all the other moss everywhere was still kind of dead or not quite had grown back. And I walked around to the side of this tree, and this tree just had this patch of like really bright green moss on it. And I was just like, where did that come from? Like, what's unexpected, right? So growth in unexpected places in unexpected ways, right? Maybe due to even unseen forces or kind of, divine forces in a way, right? Because something had to have just lined up just right to where, that tree was kind of, or the moss on that tree was kind of shielded from the frost or shielded or, got just like some kind of sprinkle of water in some kind of way or had some kind of special endurance in its particular species or in that particular patch of moss that allowed it to endure when other mosses weren't enduring, right? So definitely a big lighting the way, having your way, like a pathway lit for you, right? You see that path right there, right? And then here, there's a pathway. It's kind of in darkness because it's being so overshadowed by this brightness, right? With this bright lens flare on here. Yeah. And this is the way this picture goes. It's like tipping your toes, getting in there. But Spirit is saying, they're telling me to read it in the reverse. So there is like something you're not quite like, you're not quite getting in there. Maybe perhaps some of you are just like full on diving in. I feel like it's split. Like some of you are full on diving in, or there's some of you that are pulling back a little bit. Why are you pulling back? Oh wait. Okay, I will. Okay. Spirit wants me to pull some more cards. Okay. Ooh, being led. I see the eye of nature. Right? You guys see it kind of looks like a dragon's eye. It's naturally growing into that tree right there, right? Seeing the way forward. Seeing the way forward. Being shown the way forward. I'm hearing fierceness too. Oh, okay. Interesting. So my meditation, this is one of my meditation spots that I go to, and I sit here. And I took this picture at my meditation spot by the water, right? Yeah, and with the fog in reverse, right? Finding that clarity. Definitely through some meditation and some finding that peace, that inner peace inside of yourself is what I'm really reading that is. And here again, okay, the light codes card came out, but it came up upside down in reverse. So there is a message that you're not receiving here, right? A message with this sun going down here with the trees and the sunset in the background right here. I really feel like there is a message you're not receiving. It's kind of like blocked, or well, it's a perceived block. It's a perceived block. This tree right here, where it's like the branching possibilities, is like shifting timelines or past timelines here. It's reminding me of like the Two of Swords energy here. Coming to a fork in the road and having, the sun is setting on on your time, or especially they don't want you to feel rushed, but it's like the sun is setting on this indecisive energy, right? And it's time to choose. It's time to choose a way forward, and spirit is trying to give you the download as to which way you should go, but you're not either not receiving it, or you feel a little blocked, or there's some kind of perceived block in your way, or you're just not making the choice to move forward. Spirit is saying, right? Meditation is going to bring some answers to you, okay? Finding that inner peace, finding that meditative spot, finding that place to find that peace for yourself, right? Yeah, also having patience for yourself. That's yeah, right? To kind of, the time has come, right? It's time to choose a path, to choose a direction. Which way do you want to go? How do you want to handle it? Spirit is saying that they'll stand beside you and help you with whatever direction that you want to go, but it's time for you to make a choice. Wow. Wow, yeah. So they're really trying to get you to choose, right? To make that choice, to make the directional choice. Like, which way are you going to choose? Okay, right? Because whichever way that you choose is going to be something long lasting, right? This is going to be the path that you're taking for like the rest of your life, right? Spirit is saying like, this is it. This is going to be what's setting up your legacy, passing down, those roots, passing down to what you will be in the future. But it's time for you to go towards that, right? It's time for you to go towards that, right? It's time for you to see. It's time for you to make a choice, right? The truth is here right in front of you, right? The time has come. You're being called to go on this path, right? There is a tower moment coming here, right? And it's going to inspire you to get that motivation to go one way or the other. Okay, yeah, I was just about to say, it came out before I could even ask. I was being asked to this tiptoeing in, like, what is this? You're waiting for something to manifest, waiting for something to ground, waiting, perhaps for some of you, it's waiting for the funds, right? Waiting for the funds to, to enact, to materialize, so that you can actually put whatever process you have in your mind, or whatever plan that you have in your mind. Perhaps you need the money, or need the materials to manifest, to make it, to put it into work, right? Yeah, it's been leaving you with that sense of that Seven of Pentacles, right? With that sense of, also with this Five of Wands here, back and forth. Is it coming? Is it coming? It's all happening. Spirit is saying in divine time with that Wheel of Fortune, right? It is coming. Look at that. There it is, Two of Swords, right? And that's so crazy because it fell out right over this. Look at that. I'm not bending my card, am I? No. Right? It's time to make this choice. It's no more time to go back and forth, or be guided by chaos, or be guided by outside information, or be guided by your fears, by your worries, by your anxieties with that Nine of Swords there. Spirit is saying it's time. Look, the Tower. This Tower moment is upon you now, right? The divergent moment is here. It's coming. So you're gonna be presented with the opportunity to make this choice, right? As to which way you want to go, right? Okay, so they want me to clarify the dragon's eye. Okay, the wisdom, the kind of like cosmic knowledge, cosmic awareness, cosmic knowledge. Oh, devil. Mm. Will you clarify this devil card a little bit more? This doesn't feel like a very heavy devil card, okay? So just be aware of that. It doesn't feel like a heavy, heavy devil card. Yeah, there are some cycles here, some kind of cycles that you are that you're not allowing to end, right? Perhaps maybe it's the cycle of needing to see, right? I need to see, I needed to be guided in a certain direction. You might feel kind of pressured to go a certain way or to not, you might feel this pressure to not choose or to not go forward, okay? Um, um, sorry, I just got a message that just made me laugh. Um, but it was about the ending, right? It's about the ending of something. And so it was just like the ending is going to be fantastic. The ending is going to be remarkable. You just need to know that you have the strength inside of yourself to end this, right? And there might be outside eyes that are making you feel pressured, right? You might be feeling watched and feeling like this outside pressure to go a certain way, and maybe that's, or maybe you're feeling pressured because, well, I feel like my means or a logical way forward hasn't presented itself, which is why I haven't been diving into this, because it's like maybe you don't have the 3D or family or friend or just support inside your own mind, inside your own heart to really push yourself forward, to just take this leap of faith forward, right? Yeah, this could definitely be something from your childhood. Maybe you're feeling a little low in energy. There's some part of yourself that you're not nurturing. I think it's the part of yourself that knows. Excuse me, we're not giving we're not giving free promotion. Yeah, so you might feel, yeah, there is this feeling of like, I need to win. I need to prove myself. I just heard that, like the Sorting Hat Harry. There's this thirst to prove yourself, right? Definitely. So there is this thirst to push yourself forward and to, this is maybe perhaps what's stopping you, right? The competitive nature, maybe the industry or like what you're trying to do. You're thinking, wow, like how am I going to make a way forward in this, right? Because I don't have people believing that I can do this, maybe. And then maybe you're having those fears and doubts about it towards yourself, because you're like, can I really do this? I need to win because I need to prove myself. And Spirit says it's not about proving yourself. You have everything that you already need, right? You keep waiting for this, but Spirit's saying we've already given it to you. You were born with it. It was inside you, right? You already have this that you need. It's already in your hands. You know, that this 10 of Pentacles starts with just that movement forward. How do you get to this 10 of Pentacles? Well, you go ahead and start with that Ace of Pentacles that you were already given, right? And you make your way up to the 10. And I really feel like doing this meditation is really going to help clear this fog of you being able to see, right? Because it's this confusion energy. It's this energy right here that has you feeling like it's not allowing you to see that it's already there, right? It's already there. You're already having it. Like Spirit is saying, like you have so much of it. It's like being like having everything you need all around you, but then convincing yourself in some kind of way that you don't, because you have this fear and this doubt energy, right? Or you have this energy like, can I really make it, or can I really do this, right? Spirit said that definitely could, yeah, it's a mask, it's fake, you know, like it's this lack of commitment to go ahead and doing it that's really holding you back, right? Because if you really started doing it, you would see, right? Or you pushed yourself, you could have already started doing it, but if you keep pushing yourself 555 down on the real time clock, if you keep pushing yourself and allow this change to really happen, like you'll see that you're so much closer than you think that you are. Because you do. You have everything that you need with that Page of Pentacles, right? You have everything that you need to put in this work, but it's like it's like you don't see it. And there are certain things that you haven't allowed yourself to see past that are keeping you, that are stopping you from seeing the truth, right? So this could be some toxic friends or family members in your life. It could be toxic mindsets. It could be, toxic patterns of your lifestyles, toxic lifestyle choices. Okay, it could be keeping you kind of like foggy, or maybe it's this that you're not taking those moments to stop and breathe and find that place inside of yourself, right? So that you can alleviate any kind of brain fog that you might have from this. It is only your internal fears and your doubts that are creating this fog, that are creating this chaos inside of yourself, right? Right? You have the stability and you have the belief inside of yourself. You have that. Spirit is saying that they know sometimes this pathway can feel very lonely, but they're saying that see that you do have the support that you need, right? They have given you this brilliant idea and this brilliant way forward, right? And you have that inside of yourself. Believe that, but you're being too controlling. You're being too it's like you're keeping yourself stuck in a box. And Spirit is saying, why? Why are you keeping yourself stuck in this tight box? Why are you trying, it's your defense mechanism to close in, to keep yourself small, because uh, maybe perhaps you felt like every time when you were younger or before in your past, every time you felt like you kind of opened up and allowed, you got beat back down. And so you're like, but this is my safe place. This is my safe place. And Spirit is saying, like, this pathway or your this option is only going to be presented to you when you open yourself up, right? When you allow yourself to really just go and flow with it, right? You've got what you need, right? You got the idea that you need. It's already there, right? But you're keeping too close to yourself. For some of you, it could be that you're not, there could be, other people, other energies outside of you that you are supposed to work with, that you're supposed to collaborate with, but you're too turned in on yourself, right? And I'm not saying that you didn't learn to be that way as like a defense mechanism, right? Yeah, you're very independent in the way that you're doing this, in the way that you're working, in the way that you're driving yourself forward. But Spirit is saying that there's nothing wrong with putting in that work. It's good to have this independent energy, right? It's good not to feel like you need other people, but to understand there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with wanting other people or having other people around you to help you, right? But having the right type of people that have the right type of mindset, right? There's this motive. Yeah, I was just about to say that King of Wands was really standing out to me. This outside energy of you that you need to find this King of Wands energy here. It's like I'm gonna get up and do what I need to do, right? I'm gonna do what I need to do. Wow. Yeah. So there definitely is something here, someone here that you need to partner up with. You don't need this person, right? But Spirit says, just like everything, we all have, we all have soulmate, soul tribe members. We all have people. We're humans, right? And part of our human experience is that we work best in a tribe. We work best, in a community. We work best when we are helping each other grow and learn, right? And that's a part of being here, and it's a part of manifesting into this human body, right? Is the fact that we are made the way that we are. And it's not just negative things like our ego and things that are about us, because there are a lot of species, or there are a lot of energies out there that have to overcome that same, process as they're going, and and their society is waking up and going through their elevation. It's all a part of it, right? But sometimes, in this process, we can go too far to one side or the other, right? Too far to one side. Like sometimes we can be taught to be a certain way. Like I was talking to this about one of my really close friends the other day, and she was saying that that the way that she was raised was on this side, and that she felt like she actually, perhaps because she so didn't want to repeat that same side, that she went way too far to the other side on this subject, right? So she was like, I need to kind of come back and find that balance in the middle, right? I need to kind of come back and find that balance in the middle, because I feel like I was just, I was way too like, because I was raised under such this far side, right? So it's like finding this pathway in the middle, finding this balance in the middle between not being so open that you're just being gullible, and you're being, and you're being willfully ignorant and allowing people to take advantage of you, having enough discernment to know when, no, I don't need to work with that person, or no, I don't need to work with that, but being open enough to actually allow outside energies to come in, right? And collaborate, right? Having this co-collaboration energy, because all of us need that collaboration energy in our life, right? And I'm not getting so much to this person specifically. Don't concentrate on the signs. I'm not getting so much to this person as a fire sign, but they're just they're really embodying this get up and go kind of energy. Get up and go and conquer it and do it kind of energy. And that seems to be what you're I don't want to say lacking, but it's what you're not seeing in yourself. So spirit is saying, like, perhaps maybe they're sending like a teacher, or like a book that you'll read, or like a mentor, or it could come in all different, but it's going to be something that's really going to inspire you to find this energy inside of yourself. It could be another person, right? Somebody to that you could get in that inspiration from, where you feel like very motivated. This person has a lot of motivation to get up and go and strive and go forward. Yeah. And this person is a person that very much so nurtures themselves, okay? Because spirit is saying there is a really big part of you that you're like turning yourself away from. There's a really big part of yourself that you're not, there's like this whole other side of yourself that you're not embracing. And spirit is like, that's where we need you to be right now. That's where we need you to be. Unexpected. Let's do the moss. What is this unexpected growth, spirit? You want to talk about it? Yes. Okay. So it's a sudden revelation here. A sudden revelation with this handman, realizing that you've been seeing things from kind of like a limiting perspective, right? That you had a limited perspective, and you hung yourself up from that tree to get a different perspective, to get that enlightenment, right? And now you're coming out of that needing to push yourself all the way to this moment, right? Spirit's like, we had to push you all the way to this moment. You had to experience this thing to get this different perspective. And now you have it. Now it's time to relieve yourself, right? Take yourself down so that you can write your energy again. And so spirit is saying that's why you might feel a little thrown off, because you were turned completely upside down and put into this kind of precarious situation, or this karmic situation, that so you could learn this. And now you've received the enlightenment that you needed to receive, and now your body is having to acclimate to turning back around, to coming back down and being like, okay, like, okay, now how do I integrate this new information with being back on my feet again, right? How do I find this new grounding energy? So spirit saying that's why it's so important for you to stay grounded right now, and to get grounded in this space, right? To get into this new headspace, because spirit saying you're fighting it. There's a lot of like chaos and a lot of which way to go in kind of energy around. And so spirit is saying, it's time for you to kind of quiet that. I could do this, or maybe I could do that, or maybe I could do this, or maybe this, but maybe it's that, but maybe it's this person, but maybe it's not. Well, should I work with this person? I don't know. Should I do this? I don't know. Should I take this opportunity? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That kind of energy, right? And spirit is saying that this is going to quiet that, right? And cut out any of that confusing chaos energy, so that the fog is gone, so that you can see the path forward, right? So the path forward is very clear to you. I'm getting like a 2 of Wands energy. Yeah. And right to this path forward here, right? That's a big step. That's a big upset, right? Right? You just like skipped the knight and went straight to the queen, right? You were at the page and all of a sudden, boom. So it's like a big upgrade that's happening here to you, going straight up to this Queen of Pentacles, right? Wow. Death card transformation. It's a huge transformation that's upon you here, right? And it's because of this information. It's because of this enlightenment that you received that this is happening. So just work with your body, work with your body, work with your mind, have grace, have understanding, and cut whatever this energy is off. Go ahead. Like you've been given and received that you need to do this, that you need to walk away from it, that it's not serving you anymore. So go ahead and do it. Spirit is saying it's okay. Like, understand, a big part of it is just acknowledging that it needs to happen and then allowing yourself to naturally align with that, right? Yeah. It's really big. It's insecurities, sweetie. And we all have insecurities. I understand that. I really, really do. Right? And that's what this devil energy is that you need to, it's insecurities that's holding you back. It's that, right? It's that, can I do it? Do I have enough strength? Am I smart enough? Am I skilled enough? Can I really actually do this? Well, Spirit's saying, go ahead and try it, baby. You do. You are already given, pre-coded with everything that you need to make this work. You are as smart and as strong and as beautiful and as everything, and as tactical and everything that you need to be, right? You have everything that you need to really know how to do this, right? I just feel your spirit guides like giving you like this big huge hug, like it's okay, right? Like it's okay, right? You know the truth. It's okay. It's okay, right? You feel this call, right? Spirit is saying like, with this Hierophant in reverse, they're like, you don't have to seek forgiveness. You don't have to seek forgiveness from us. We're there. We're loving you. We forgive you. It's fine. It isn't a matter of getting forgiveness. This is completely normal. And Spirit says that's what they want you to see. They want you to have a little more kindness and grace for yourself and see that all this that you're going through is completely normal. It completely happens. It's completely a part. Sometimes we can start comparing ourselves, right? Have this comparative where we're just like, oh, we see other people in the spiritual community that maybe, don't suffer from the same problems, or we don't even know that, right? I'm sure you guys, some of you guys look at me and I know that I don't share all of my struggles that I go through. I don't have like a perfect life. I'm happy and satisfied with my life, right? But there are still things that I struggle with. I'm still there. Are these things that I still struggle with myself, going on my spiritual journey. You're not alone in this, right? It's just a lot of people don't share that part of themselves, or don't share a lot of their struggles because they feel like they have to go, that it's just something that they need to go through. And for some of you, maybe it's, to find that person that can um that could help you feel less alone with that, right? So maybe, yeah, for some of you, I'm getting really strong that it's like a really big, like, self-help or motivational book or speech or something that you're going to watch, or perhaps maybe a YouTube channel or somebody that you might find that gives some kind of like online classes or something. There is that big something here that is just really going to really help you set that into place. And it's okay, right? It's okay if you need guidance on that. Spirit is saying they're trying to give you the guidance, trying to put you in a direction, but what's standing in the way, right, of these insecurities, of you feeling like it shouldn't be this way, I shouldn't feel this way, I shouldn't be struggling with this. Why not? Spirit saying, why not? It's a completely normal part of the process. Excuse me, right? Like, why not? Why shouldn't you? Everybody does. You know, not everybody talks about this. A lot of people talk about the rose covered beauty part of it, or they talk about really intense. They don't talk about the little ways, right? So not a lot of people talk about the little everyday ways that sometimes we can shame or guilt ourselves into staying in these past cycles. But when I say have that grace for yourself, that's what I mean. See that it's okay. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to feel ashamed that you have these insecurities, or you have these things, or you have just certain things that are like, Why is it so hard for me to do this? I was just watching a reading actually the other day, um, by Lexi the Leo. Oh, you guys, if you guys haven't, she has such beautiful energy. Um, I love her so much. Lexi the Leo, um, and she talked about that. She talked about how sometimes in your struggle that you might go through that. That she was saying that that for a long time she felt really guilty because she felt like a lot of people in the community, in the spiritual community, they become vegan or they become vegetarian, and she felt like that was a step that she needed to make. But she said that she felt a lot of guilt about herself because she just couldn't do it for the longest time. And then she just one day it happened. One day it really aligned with her, and then she was just able to do it, right? So spirit saying there are these things that sometimes it just takes time. It just takes, it's not always because we're not strong enough or because we're not working hard enough to make it happen. Sometimes our bodies are just going to click, and when it is right for us, we will be lining with that. Just know that that you're finding that stillness in your mind. You're finding that space, that peace inside of yourself, right? Because this card is not only about meditation, but it's also about the peace that I find when I'm in this space, right? The peace and the understanding and the connection that I find in this space. So it's also about that connection that spirit wants you to have. Stop running away from that part of yourself that you would rather hide, or you rather would not show, or you'd rather not. It's a part of you, and it's okay. It's a completely natural part of the process, and it's completely okay, right? Not that, I don't want you to think like, oh, it's just completely normal for me to stay in the same spot for years. And not necessarily. That's not what I'm trying to say, right? But your body, it just takes time for your body to realign, and to realign and to go through these energetic upgrades. And it's okay, right? Love yourself through it. It's okay, right? Because this process is happening, right? This death process, it's happening. This transformation, it's happening. And sometimes it happens in huge ways, and sometimes it happens in little subtle ways, little bite-sized pieces that when we're actually going through it, we don't see the changes much. But it's not until after we've gone through it and we kind of look back and we're like, wow, I've actually come a long way. I felt like a lot of movement wasn't happening, but now at the end of this period, when I look back on the last few months, like, there've been little movements, but they're just as big a part, right? The little baby steps are just as big as the times when you take huge big steps, right? They're just as big. The little, can you guys hear that? Them like shooting off in the background. And it's like pop, 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 pop. It's like really rapid. Like, so right, like the little steps are just as significant as like the big booms, right? They're just as big. And the little steps that you take every day, the little things, and having kindness and understanding and peace for yourself. Because I feel the tension in your body. Because I feel it in my body now, right? You might be feeling a little bit of that. Where your heart chakra is opening up, and you might find times when it's closing back down, and then you're working to open it back up and it might be closing back down, and you're like, oh, I'm frustrated, just stay open, right? But it's all just a part of it, right? It's all just a part of learning those little things every day that make it a little bit easier for us and a little bit lighter for us, right? The little choices that make it, that make it easier for us a little bit at a time. Yeah, until you find that, that motivation that you need to really passionately go forward, right? Because spirit is saying sometimes maybe you get a little, and your body's not quite ready, and then you try to leap in, right? You try to just leap in, and then you're like, oh no, I wasn't ready for that, and you end up like having to backtrack. When spirit is saying when you just stick your little toes in all, a little bit at a time and really realize it's okay, right? But you just have to work to find that stability inside of yourself to understand you got this, you're okay, you're supported, you're loved. It's okay to tip, tip, tip. Okay, I'm acclimating, right? They're reminding me of just like kind of like putting your feet in and then putting your legs in and then putting it up to your knees, right? It's okay. Like, it's okay. Don't look at other people just diving in and think oh, well, I should just be able to dive into. You don't have to be, right? Some things you're going to be able to just dive into, and some things you're going to have to kind of go take a little bit at a time, you know, because you're working through a little bit harder, a little bit harder issues or a little bit deeper things, right? Sometimes you're not being asked to dive in because what you're experiencing and those slow steps are really big. So they might feel slow, but you're actually processing a lot of really deep seated things inside of you, right? Deep subconscious things inside of you. So have that grace and that, you know, and just, you know, say it's okay. And do things that are fun, that help you, you know, that help you relieve this stress off of yourself as well, right? And I'm getting to because um I'm getting to like if you do things that are fun, or if you take a night off, or if you're like, I'm just working on a project, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take this night off, or I'm gonna take a couple of days off. Don't spend those couple of days or that time just feeling guilty for not, or like, oh my god, I'm so far behind now. Like, allow yourself just to understand that taking those breaks and having those days is just as important as like pushing through, right? Yeah, there's a lot of like conserving your energy right now. Yeah. Conserving your energy and slowing things down so that you can see, right? So that you can know which choice to make. So that you don't feel so overwhelmed. So that the choice seems obvious to you. Because right now you seem like you're a little overwhelmed by the choices or your options moving forward. And you feel a lot of pressure to make sure you choose the right path or you choose the right thing. So instead of making a choice and making a mistake, you're like, I'll just stand here and not make a choice at all. And Spirit is like, well, you know, just standing there and not making a choice isn't any more healthy than just jumping in and choosing something, right? Like, find that balance in between, right? Like that story I was telling, find that balance in between. The moon, there is something that's hidden to you that's coming to the surface. It's something here, the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. I haven't quite really gotten down to what Spirit wants to talk about with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, because it just keeps showing itself. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Can you give me some clarity on this, Spirit, so I can know what you're trying to say? Oh my gosh. So Spirit's saying, like you said it, So see that you're kind of saying it. They're just wanting to emphasize it, right? Because it's 9 of Pentacles, taking your time, taking your slow time that you need, right? Or the Fool card, just taking that leap, taking your time to that, right? Versus, you know, whether or not you're just there. Some things you'll just be able to take that leap, right? If it takes you a little bit more time and you're facing a little bit more obstacles in your way to getting there, to being able to have this fresh start, okay? Spirit is saying that whatever the 7 of Pentacles in reverse is for you is what's causing these stop, start, right? And Spirit is saying it's the impatience. That's what you're supposed to be learning right now, is the impatience. Is that you're just so ready to get to the end. And Spirit is saying it's not about the end. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. It's not about, you know, when everything is all done, right? It's about understanding the subtleties and taking the baby steps along the way. And that's okay, right? And like having this impatience is hiding, right? It's hiding the secret to what's actually happening here, which is everything that's happening along the way is just as important. Yeah. Spirit is saying that what you need to walk away from, right, is this feeling of leaving yourself out in the cold. 5 of Pentacles, right? I think there is a fear here that I'm really tapping into now. There is a fear that these insecurities are based on. And it's like a like that. It's that, again, that thirst to prove yourself, the want to get to the end because you want to prove to yourself and other people around you that, see, I was right. I knew what I was doing the whole time. And Spirit says that's not the purpose of this, right? You've been putting a lot of emotion behind that, but that's not really what the purpose of this is. It's not to prove to everybody else and yourself that, that you know what you're talking about. Is to know it. Have that knowing inside of yourself, right? And that just takes work. That just takes self-work. That just takes self-love. That just takes time building up your stability and your security inside of yourself, right? Because Spirit's saying, stop trying to rush to the end. Stop being with this impatient and wanting to be like, see, look, see, right? Like you gotta kind of, again, it's causing this disharmony, right? It's causing this need to like overly defend yourself, to overly control a situation, right? It's not allowing you to use all your tools at your disposal. It's blinding you in a way from some of the ways forward, right? It's blinding you. These fears, these insecurities, they're blinding you from the direction that you need to be headed into. Yes, they're showing me more Harry Potter, where they're showing me like the continuing of that sorting hat scene, right? Where he's like, oh, there's a lot of power, there's a lot of abilities inside of you, and Slytherin could help you on that path to greatness. And Harry was just so blinded by, no, I just do not want to be in Slytherin because that's where all the bad people are in Slytherin, and they're juxtaposing that scene to me in my mind to where the very end of it, where Harry is sitting there with his son and his son is like, but what if I get in Slytherin? And Harry is like, look, one of the bravest men that I have ever known was in Slytherin house, right? It's not the house that makes the wizard, right? It's your soul, it's your heart. It's it's not the label that you put on it. It's not how other people see you. It's your choices that you make and how you see yourself and what you make of it, right? Right. Yeah, and I'm hearing Ollivander say it's the wand that chooses the wizard. It's not about the destination. It's about yourself. It's about self-development. It's about who you allow yourself to become along the way, right? It's not even about the path that you choose to get there. It's not about the destination. It's not about the path that you end up choosing. It's about who you want to be, right? And staying true to yourself and staying true to that development inside of yourself. It's not about proving yourself to anyone. It's just about allowing yourself to be you. And that being enough. Yeah. So Spirit is saying that's really what it's coming down to. Spirit is offering you, like, you have all this love to give and you have all this love that you're receiving, but Spirit is saying you're not really seeing it as much, right? You're not seeing that you were given everything that you already needed to receive, that you are already everything, that all of that is already inside you. Everything, all the power and all the motivation and all the creativity and all of that is already inside you, right? You just have to allow that energy to come to you and not worry so much about what other people think, or what outside people think, or what I'm really getting. This is more like past mistakes, like it's like things that you've decided to take in the past. And some of you are feeling like you're really facing the fears of allowing like another person to come into your life, right? To allow a soulmate energy to come into your life. Or, it's like, I've worked so hard to detach myself from needing anyone. And Spirit is saying that you want a partner, or that you are allowing a soulmate to come into your life, isn't saying that you need that person. It's just saying that you understand that that person can add and can help you grow, right? And so for some of you, it's about how these insecurities in the past have made you perhaps maybe open yourself a little bit too much to people that ended up hurting you. But Spirit is saying that, see, in the end, that those people that you opened up to taught you lessons, right? And it's unfortunate sometimes that the pain is what teaches us, right? But it all serves a purpose. Decisions that we make, mistakes that we've made, it's all about seeing that it's all become a part of who we are. It's not about the path that you've chosen. It's not about the path or your perceived mistakes that you've made to get to where you are now, but you are where you are now. And everything that you've gone through in the past, whether or not you saw them as mistakes or not, led you to this moment right now where you're here, right? And you're going through your awakening, and you're going through this evolution. And despite all the things and all the perceived mistakes that you made in the past, yet you are still here, right? Yet you are still here in the process of going through this evolution, of making this, right? See how strong that you had to be to get here. And don't allow any seeds of doubt that you have allowed yourself, or that other people have sown into you. Don't allow those to get you to a place where you feel overwhelmed and scared to make that choice forward, right? Because Spirit is saying it's not about the path, it's not about, the destination even. It's about, again, it's about the person, right, that you allow yourself to become. Or maybe perhaps it's the person that you allow yourself to be, right? Because you're the ideal version of yourself is already realized. It's already there. It's already existing at a soul level. It's just about matching this 3D version of that with that version of yourself, right? And allowing yourself to come into alignment with that version of yourself, because it's already there. It's already existing. Sometimes we can get so caught up in the fact that we don't see that person realized in front of us yet, that we can't even see how far along our journey we're walking down becoming that person. Sometimes our insecurities and our fears and our doubts, they can blind us. Yeah, because it's not, like I said, when this devil card showed itself, it's not as heavy as you might want to think that it is, right? And I'm not saying that it's not hard. Your insecurities aren't, or would actually, if you just woke up, they'd be easy for you to see. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying, like, the Spirit is telling you, like, you've overcome so much already. And what you have to overcome in the future is, you have everything inside you that you need to do it now, exactly as you are now. You just have to see it inside of yourself. You just have to know that you can. Because you already are. You're already doing it. This process is already there. But sometimes, like I said earlier, when we're in the thick of it, it's really hard to see it because it's surrounding us and we're dealing with it. And it's not until we're on the other side of it that we're like, wow, like, I didn't give myself enough credit. I was fighting through so much, and I was doing so much, and I did it. Right? Spirit said it's already done, right? The evolution is already done. You just have to align yourself with it in a way of seeing it as already done, and you will become that. And then it will materialize. But as long as you are trying to force it to materialize because you want to prove that it's real to yourself or prove that it's real to other people, it's going to be a much more uphill journey. Yeah, I just keep hearing Spirit say, surrender, surrender. Let's get a couple of last little messages for the collective. Bark, right? That really close up, like I was saying. It's easy to see the cracks and all of that from close up. It's easy, you know. It's like when people tell you that, like, you're like, oh, I'm insecure about this, and other people are like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, what? It's like, oh, don't you see? It's like, no, I don't even. What do you mean? Like, what? I don't even see that. What do you mean? I've never even noticed that. Nobody else notices it. You think they do, and it seems so bright and obvious, and it seems like, there's this flaw, and I'm so this and that. You think that it's projecting so loudly, but it's not, because you're so close to the issue. And Spirit said, that's normal. It's normal. But see through the fog, right? See through the fog. Ground yourself. Because this morning glory, a new day is dawning, right? There's a new bloom coming. Oh, look at that. As I say that, look at the two flower cards come out as I say that, right? And this is my Empress card coming out here, right? And then my purity card coming out too. Clearance and purity. Just wow. I love that though. Those showing up like that as soon as I talked about the blooming happening and then the flowers showed. Okay. Yeah. Again, the flowers, a new bloom. It's the dawn of a new day, right? Oh my gosh. My purity card came right back out again, right? So this is happening, right? This is happening. This is ending. This dark night is ending, right? The darkness is ending. And you're setting up a whole new foundation for yourself. And there's a really big thing here that I really feel like it's like it's that thirst to prove yourself to people. This could really be a lot from your childhood or like family members or friends or on a soul level, on your soul mission here to prove that you can plant this new seed to create something. I feel like you feel there is a part of yourself on a soul that feels the gravity, like the weight of your soul mission. Like it feels very big to yourself, right? And you're kind of like sometimes you feel overwhelmed by it, right? Because it's like, oh, when somebody tells you the decisions that you're making are setting up, a whole lifetime and future generations and all that, sometimes you can feel like, but just remind yourself that you're just one person living a life, and that all you're trying to do is just live your life to your truest self and the best that you can, right? To just remind yourself that you're just human and that you're just here, and that you're just trying the best that you can. And that the best that you can might not be what other people want to project onto you as the best that you can do, but Spirit is saying it's okay. All right? It's okay. You're doing it. they see the difference. They see the change. And they say that if you really stop, you can see it in yourself too. Right? That's why they're like, hey, take this time to meditate. Take this time to really connect with yourself, right? So that you can see and you can read your energy properly. Because I feel like sometimes you read your energy as like your past self, or you read your energy, you don't see how much clearance and how much work. Sometimes it's hard for you to see it when you're in the middle of it. It's hard for yourself to acknowledge how far you've come and how much clearance you have done. Like, you're doing so much. So don't put so much pressure on yourself, right? Yeah, sometimes with this Five of Pentacles on the outside of the church, right? That Five of Pentacles energy, you close yourself out, you lock yourself out. My spirit is saying, don't do that. It's okay. Yeah, again, with just that energy. It's kind of dark. But yeah. All right, that's what I have for you today. I really hope that you enjoyed this. You guys let me know down in the comment section down below if you'd be interested in purchasing this deck, or if you know, you'd like to purchase it like once I create a little bit more images, want to do some more photography on it. This is my own photography that I do and that I made into this deck. So let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in, okay? Let me know how you guys like interpreting like the intuitive messages off of the deck, okay? Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I really hope this brought some love, light, and clarity into your life, my beloved, okay? Thank you so much, 555. I just missed it down the clock, but I did notice that coming up. Really spend some time really nurturing yourself and just loving yourself, okay? Because you deserve it. You've worked really hard for it, and you deserve it. Don't let yourself feel so guilty because you know that there is such a long way. You feel like there's such a long way to go, but Spirit is saying like you've come so far. So give yourself the credit that you deserve. I'm being reminded of a conversation this past summer. Me and my friend, we stayed at an Airbnb down at the beach, and the people that we stayed with, they were so fantastic. They were this really interesting couple that we stayed with, and and the husband was leaving the next day to go out of the country, but we were just that night we just sat there. That first night that we were there, we just sat there and talked to them, and he does like a lot of this nonprofit work, where he was talking about um, working with a nonprofit organization to build wells and different parts of impoverished nations. And he was saying that sometimes he feels like there's still just so much that there is to do, that there's still just so much to do. And so sometimes he feels like, I feel like I'm just not doing enough. And I like sat there and I looked at him and I'm like, yo, like, you're doing a lot more than a lot of people that I know in my whole entire life, right? Like you, I feel like I told him, I said, I feel like your vision of that is a little skewed because you have a higher awareness of how much work there is to do out there. But that doesn't mean that you're not actually getting really good work done, and that you should give yourself those moments where you kind of realize and acknowledge how much work and how much people you are helping and how much you are doing and how much you are doing to make this world a better place. So sometimes we can be so close to the issue that it takes somebody from the outside to kind of step in and tell us like, hey, you know, like, you're doing a lot. So maybe you should be a little kinder to yourself, you know? Be a little gentler with yourself because it's okay. You are working really, really hard, um, and you're making progress. But sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you can't see it as well, right? So make sure that you're stepping back and that you're looking at the bigger picture, right? Again, thank you guys so much for being here with me. Thank you to everyone who likes, who subscribes, who shares this video with somebody that feel like it could help or bring some kind of enlightenment to, or some kind of clarity to. I really appreciate it. If you feel drawn to watch any of my other videos, please go ahead and do so. Also, if you feel guided to donate or tip to the channel, or if you feel guided to reach out to me to get any kind of personal reading or for spiritual clarity, okay? All the information for that is in the description box down below. Just scroll down to the bottom. Also, if you're interested in any of the decks that I use in this reading or any of my other readings, the information for that is also at the bottom of the description box. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next one, lovelies. Bye.